Welcome to the administration training for the Wyoming Prevention Needs Assessment Survey. This training will take about a half hour to complete and will provide you with information on what to expect as you prepare for and administer the PNA to your students. Your help is essential in gathering good, high-quality information about the youth population in Wyoming. I realize that your primary responsibility is for teaching and instructing, so I want to thank you for taking the time to gather this information and watching these training videos. The information gathered from the PNA can be used to help improve the learning process for many students. There is a strong, well-established link between health and learning. Students' health impacts their attendance, test scores, and ability to pay attention in class. Supporting kids and addressing health issues such as drug and alcohol use can greatly improve their ability to learn and their academic success. By gathering this information using the PNA, we can help reduce the obstacles to learning and improve attendance, grades, and test scores. The PNA is led by Eric Kanan. He is the principal investigator on this project and oversees the coordination of the survey and the results reporting. The PNA team also consists of other researchers and information technology support personnel. Together, we work for the Wyoming Survey and Analysis Center, or WYSAC, which is a department of the University of Wyoming. You can get more information about the project on our website, pnasurvey.org. There are 5 parts to this training. First, I will talk about the history and context of the PNA in Wyoming. Second is the steps involved in survey administration that you will be actively involved in, starting with informing parents and obtaining their permission for their child to participate. Third, I will talk about the online administration of the survey. And fourth, I will provide information about the paper version of the survey. Finally, I will address how the survey needs to be administered and what concerns might arise. Let's jump into part 1 of the training, which will cover some background information about the PNA. I'd like to take a few moments to give a brief background on where this survey originated and the role it serves here in Wyoming. During the early 1990s, drug and alcohol use prevention went through a paradigm shift. At that point, drug and alcohol abuse prevention providers realized that the public health model of prevention could bring many tools and methods that were previously unexplored or overlooked. In particular, the public health models that used risk and protective factors could bring a coherency and scope that was not understood in the realm of substance abuse prevention before that time. Growing from this shift, there was a realization that we needed data on risk and protective factors in adolescence. The PNA grew out of those efforts. A group from the University of Washington put together the first large-scale self-report survey on risk and protective factors. They named it the Communities That Care Youth Survey. And one by one, states began adopting the survey as a means of better understanding both the consumption rates and the attitudes that influence those rates. The goal of the survey was to be wide-ranging, gathering prevalence rates for 13 different substances, along with many attitudinal constructs. The survey also needed to be a manageable length so that it could be administered in a single class hour at school. It also needed to have good reliability and validity. The researchers met those goals. And in 2001, this survey was packaged in Wyoming as the Prevention Needs Assessment. This was the first time that the PNA survey was administered in the state. Since then, the goal has been to administer the survey to all 6th, 8th, 10th, and 12th grade students enrolled in public schools in Wyoming. The idea behind this survey is to provide information all the way down to the school district level about students in their schools. We can always bring it up to the regional or state level, but community data is often very difficult to obtain, and ultimately, most decisions about how and where to spend prevention funding are made through the community. Communities have used the PNA data in local planning. For instance, as part of the project called the Wyoming Strategic Prevention Framework, all the communities in Wyoming have used the PNA in conjunction with other data sources to conduct a needs assessment, identifying areas that influenced the misuse of alcohol. As they decided where they would focus their efforts based on the data, those same measures from the PNA and other data sources served as the evaluation outcomes. Finally, many funding projects require reporting some very specific information that is gathered exclusively on the PNA. For instance, the Safe and Drug-Free Communities grants require that communities report the perception of risk and harm from using alcohol, cigarettes, marijuana, and the misuse of prescription drugs. The PNA data is used throughout the state and provides valuable information that is not gathered elsewhere. Beginning with the 2024 PNA, there are 2 versions of the survey, one for middle school and one for high school grades. The middle school version removes questions about harder drugs and replaces them with questions about behaviors and experiences affecting learning. The survey process in Wyoming is relatively straightforward. We have to complete these 6 steps. At this point, steps 1 and 2 are basically complete. We have contacted the schools and school districts to get permission to administer the surveys in their respective facilities. We have also gathered some information about when and to whom the school will be administering the survey. The steps that you will most actively be involved in are steps 3 and 4. You are the ones who will track parental consent and administer the survey. Without you, the rest of this project could not succeed. The majority of the next presentation is on those 2 steps to give you a clear outline of what needs to be done. This should provide an understanding of what the P&A team will be doing and what you will be doing. The P&A team will handle the last 2 steps.